then the end was finally in sight. A guard of honour by the Household Cavalry escorting her over the finishing line.
I started to cry and I was like, you just stand in front of me because all the press were there.
The Folvilles were 7 aristocratic brothers who form a gang, and led by Eustace, the most dangerous of them, look to settle a few scores. First on the list is their local rival, Roger Bellers. Bellers is an important man, well connected and rich. The gang meet him on the road between Melton and Leicester on the 19th of January 1326. Eustace drives a knife into his heart. Declared outlaws, they flee the country. This ancient stone cross is said to mark the spot where Roger Bellers fell and where the Folvilles' criminal career began. Sailing's all about mental strength and physical ability versus the forces of nature. And these guys from Staunton Harold Sailing Club will need both those attributes when they take to the water in Weymouth for the Olympics. Only 3 months ago, I reported on a police operation which uncovered stolen lead that had been smart watered. The lead recovered in that police operation came from the roof of this church in Bilborough. They're now having to replace that lead with clay tiles, costing thousands of pounds.
Well, Paul Bradshaw is at the Jobs Fair for us now. Good afternoon, Paul.
Good afternoon, Dominic, and welcome to the 4th annual Jobs Fair here in Nottingham. As you can probably see behind me, dozens of employers busily speaking to potential recruits. And they were queuing here this morning. Thousands of job hunters are expected here throughout the day, all in search of employment opportunities. Everything from construction to care work is on offer.
It's at that point, really, they start to turn their attention to the castle.
They break into the gatehouse and set fires in the empty building which take hold. One eyewitness watching from the park says the air was filled with the smell of burning cedar as the timbers of the old ducal mansion are reduced to ashes. One of the buildings has become a refuge for a number of homeless people being helped by a local charity.
This is as what we call a squat. This is where the guys live because they haven't got no accommodation.
While it's unclear who currently owns the property, Leicester City Council says any planning applications that may have existed have now expired. Today at his Highgrove home, Prince Charles launched the Coronation Meadows scheme, which he hopes will conserve grasslands across the UK. This 90-acre site at Loughborough has been named as one of the new Coronation Meadows. Rich in wildflowers and home to butterflies and breeding birds. There's been a meadow here for hundreds of years. Seed from this site will be collected and used to develop and create other local meadows, ensuring the future of grasslands like this one for years to come.
Reading a map book, no hands on the wheel.
This is what the past 3 days have been like for traffic officers in Leicestershire and Rutland. They've been monitoring the habits of lorry drivers on the M1 and A1.
You do need to pay a fine of £60 in the next 28 days.
With a face of more than ordinary beauty and a mind both keen and daring, Joan Phillips was born around 1656, the only child of a respectable Northamptonshire farmer. The beautiful heiress could have had her pick of the many suitors who came a-calling. Instead, she chooses Edward Bracey, a conman and thief.
He seems to have indulged in a variety of frauds and swindles, and it seems that that's what he intended to perpetrate on the Phillips family.
The athletics world was literally at her feet, but privately she was battling an eating disorder that was ruining her life.
In February this year I was diagnosed with 2 stress fractures, which is probably a result of the eating problems I had in my past.